Hi, welcome to the Token Clan channel. This is Warren. In this video, we'll be once again sharing with you the latest tips and tricks on Venus platform. In our previous video, we have discussed about yield farming on Venus platform, the XVS token. In our second video, we have talked about greater details, especially in the fees, the borrowing fees, when you are borrowing from Venus and at the same time you farming for XVS tokens. What are the fees you should watch out for and how to repay it? We have done 5 days. We have borrowed the swipe tokens for 5 days. We have clocked up 5 days of interest, and I have also shared with you in my second video of the Venus how we repaid it, how we calculate each of the metrics, the fees, and all of this in my second video. In my third video, we'll be discussing about Venus Vault, the latest feature that was introduced days ago from the Venus protocol team. We'll talk about some of the key considerations of why you want to how you can optimize your your XVS yield farming strategies on the Venus platform through supplying of markets, supplying your cryptos, from borrowing of cryptos, or even to the third approach that will be closely linked to the Vault, and that is to mint or to borrow in Valve stablecoin token. And that sums up what I want to discuss with you in this video. If you want to support the Token Clan channel, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and activate the notification bell. We discuss about the latest yield farming strategies and ways you can manage and grow your cryptocurrencies and also receive a passive source of income. Hi, I am the author of Crypto Assets for Passive Income book. I also have a digital course that discuss in greater details. If you want to take advantage, we are doing a weekly giveaway. Each week, a winner will walk away with a free physical copy of my book and access to this digital course that we have created that supplements the book. We are giving, on top of all these great offers, we are giving a $20 worth of Bitcoin, and it is going to be sent to your Bitcoin wallet address. If you are interested in this giveaway and you want to participate, be sure to find the instructions and the links in the description box below. And without further ado, we are going to discuss, and let's get into the content for today. This is the dashboard of Venus, and you are going to see refresher cost. We supplied swipe tokens, BNBs, XVS, and this has sums a total of $6,600. Our borrowing limit, which is 60% of this supplied balance, and that amounts to $3,987. We are receiving 6.61% in net APYs on this supplied collateralized and also collateralized crypto assets. And if you want to see the raw returns that we are going to receive in the forms of asset, the swipe tokens, the BNBs and XVS, and that will be 2.86% in these underlying collaterals. If we see in XVS tokens, where we can find the accrued interest received, we can go to the vote of this navigation bar, and right in this box, these are the accrued interest that I'm going to receive. You can collect here if you want to, but let's go back to the dashboard. We have not dealt with we have not borrowed or minted any of the Vault token or the borrowed, but in this video we'll be discussing about Vault. Now, Vault is the latest feature that were introduced by the Venus team. It allows you to stake your Vaults which you have minted, or you can buy it somewhere else. You need to enable it when you first interact with this feature, and then to stake your Valve into that. And once you beginning to do that, you will see the rewards sticking up here, over here. Previously, without the Vault, you can find Valve Vote token, and here is the Valve Min earned. The APYs is displayed over here. So if you decide to mint yourself some of the Valve stablecoin, you are going to, for the amount that is minted or borrowed, you will receive 32.78% annualized APYs in the forms of XVS token, and that adds up to XVS yield farming. The next question to consider will be, should you be borrowing these cryptos over here to yield farm XVS, or should you mint Valve? Which is a better choice? Let us consider and work through the numbers. Again, in my personal opinion, I am in Venus because I love the potential of what Venus will be in 1 to 2 years time. And I feel that the Venus token has some of the greatest utilities found in the Binance Smart Chain, with transaction volumes, total values locked, raking up milestones in the Binance Smart Chain for Venus. I see great potential in hodling with the XVS token. And as a result, my primary objective of why I'm here in the Venus protocol is to farm. Mainly is to farm for the XVS tokens. So you will work through the figures over here, and if you have all of these crypto assets, the most optimal way would be to supply BNBs, which give you the highest by far right now. Due to the current BNB rally, you see that the APYs earned is the greatest here. But for the stable coins, it is relatively constant, and the USDC, USDT, and B dollars are some of the great cryptos coins to supply, because their APYs are very good and their values do not fluctuate with crypto volatility, as they are stable by nature, and as a result, these APYs will be relatively constant to expect for the time you supply your cryptos over here. If you supply something like BNBs, Bitcoin, and Ether, you will find your supply balance grow over time as the underlying assets increase in value. As we are in a bull market, the official Bitcoin bull market that brings, currently this will work in favor of us. If you supply Bitcoin, you will find yourself 6 weeks later that your supply balance grow, and the amount of borrowing limits also grow, also increase along proportionately with the supply balance. However, if you find yourself in an unfavorable situation, and that is when Bitcoin volatility hurts you, and that is if the supplied crypto assets like Bitcoin were to increase, it's going to increase your balance, but if it were to decrease, it's going to decrease your balance likewise, in a similar fashion. So you will want to be aware of the downsides to supplying a volatile assets like Bitcoin, Ether, and so forth. And currently, I don't see any downside. I see minimal and little downside risk to supplying these that will hurt your supply balance and eventually your borrowing limit, which will ultimately affect whether you will be liquidated or you may lose some of your supply balance when you are borrowing and taking risks with a high borrow limit. I will discuss about the Safe Max borrowing feature over there. But if you take a look, these are the first few crypto assets that you can supply and enjoy the optimal XVS yield farming percentage here. Because if you click BNBs, you'll find that this is 7%, and if you take this is 5.83%, and so forth. You should analyze this based on your personal preference, but having and initial impressions, you will see that the greater the figures here, the higher rates of farming you will enjoy for XVS. Let's move on to foreign market, which is the core questions, to the core things that we want to consider whether to borrow or to mint. Supply is very straightforward. Now for borrowing, it is the same thing. You are going to see that BNBs is negative right now, and that means that you are going to pay much more in interest rather than the XVS that you are going to receive at this point in time. All of these figures are fluctuating with market rates. They are by no means fixed figures. They are floating rates, so they do expect that the figures will move around within a range. But just a first look, you know that this 7.69% and the 6.49% are some of the good ones, and especially XVS are some of the good ones that you want to find yourself borrowing so that you can enjoy 9.63% of XVS that will be farmed or collected over here, accrued with the interest accrued as you supply and borrowed. Let's see the highest. This is 9.63% per annualized, 9.64%. Seems like this is the highest for Swipe token. But there are a few things you should ask yourself. Is 9.64% a greater figure or 32%? If you are mint Valve stablecoin, you are going to receive 32% in XVS. Is 9.63 higher or 32? It's 32, so I'm actually asking a very direct question, right? You don't even need to think about it. If all of these cryptos and their distribution APIs for XVS is not higher than 32.78%, which you can enjoy for minting and borrowing in the Valve token, then this will be the number one choice for you to yield farm for XVS, because this 32%, nothing beats 32% in the borrowing markets at this moment. I need to have an exclusion clause, because while comparing these figures may seem no-brainer right now and seems fair as straightforward as that, if you were ever that farming XVS isn't your primary objective, then these figures, it will not place an important figures in your calculation anymore. Because if, for example, you are going to supply and have a borrowing limit so that you can borrow USDC and then cash it out into fiat currencies and then to supplement your daily business operations and then have it put into your business for the next 6 months and then to have a 20-30% return or even higher, then it totally makes sense for you to be doing this while still enjoying some kind of XVS distribution returns. While 32% may seem more juicy, but it really depends on your objective of what you want to do with the Venus protocol and how you want the Venus protocol to help you in managing your cryptocurrencies and enjoying some kind of returns while at the same time benefiting your offline operations, such as supplementing this, turning your cryptocurrencies in a digital world into fiat currency so to operate in your offline businesses or vice versa. But these are some kind of exclusion that you want to consider when you're doing this. And I find myself the only way to convince myself to be doing in the borrowing market rather than to mint Valve stablecoin in the Venus protocol is because I have other users in USDC, I have other users in B dollars. If I can mint, it will make sense to me. If the opportunity cost for me to not choose this 32%, then that would mean that for me to take something like the USDC to forego the 32%, to have this USDC and put it somewhere else. It may be another DeFi protocol, it may be in Compound, it may be in the new latest decentralized application in the BSC, Binance Smart Chain, that happens to be taking USDC and do something crazy with the USDC and give you an obscene return in a 1 year's time more than 32%, then it totally makes sense for you to take advantage of that and to do this and to forego this 32%. But for me, I have no such opportunity, at least for now at the time of this video recording. And as a result, I will usually suggest most people, if you have no use for any of this crypto to generate a higher return than this, go over and take a look at minting Valve stablecoin and to take advantage of the vault. So how can we do that? Let's take a look at the vault. We need to get ourselves some Valve tokens. We can mint it. We can buy it at PancakeSwap. We can also, right now I only know of PancakeSwap to have Valve tokens. Then Valve tokens is supposed to be pegged to $1. It is by over collateralizing crypto assets that were supplied in the Venus protocol, and that will make and force the Valve tokens to be pegged to $1. Unfortunately, at this time of the video, I'm still seeing the Valve tokens not 100% pegged to $1, and in PancakeSwap, I think it's still 90 cents to 90 is still buying Valve for 90 cents of USDC or USDT. But as the vault is here, we are beginning to see the 90%, the 90 cents gravitate to a nearer to 95, 98 cents to $1. Although we are witnessing one of the earliest beginning of the makings of Valve tokens into the circulatory supplies, it will take some time and let it mature and let it grow, let the ecosystem grow so that Valve will eventually be pegged $1 to $1 US. Now, we need to get ourselves some Valve tokens. We don't have any Valve tokens in our wallet. So let's take advantage of the vault. So the way to do that is to mint. We have a zero balance here. We have a supply. We are earning interest over here, but we are not farming or receiving any XVS from the borrowing or the mint. So we are going to choose the mint. And here it is. We are finding ourselves here how much to mint. We can mint a maximum of $3,976. You know that we supplied all the 3 cryptos that are volatile by nature. They are not stable. They are not stable coins, and as a result, these figures may grow. This borrowing limit will grow if the 3 supplied cryptocurrencies dollar worth increases over time. And also, so when you are supplying such a volatile assets over there that will subject to change, you will want to visit this page from time to time. So as we are witnessing one of the earliest beginning of the crypto bull market, you know that these figures is going to go up, and likewise the borrowing limit is going to go up. And it makes sense that we want to mint more so that we can farm for more XVS tokens in this situation. So right now there is a safe max. Safe max will have this amount will be 40% of the borrowing limit. If you punch the calculator, and let me just do a check that I am, just to make sure that I am absolutely correct. Yes, and if you just click this 1584 and divided by this, you will get a 40% safe max, which is advised and suggested by the Venus team. If you are doing for the first time, I suggest that you do 20% of this figure to have a feel of how the borrowing and the minting works for you. For those people who are handling this kind of borrowing for the first time, whether it is minting or you are just borrowing, and once I click this button, you will see that the borrowing balance will be increased. But if you are doing this for the first time, you want to know that these figures, you can choose arbitrarily 60% of these figures, 80% or 95% of this figure. But the closer that you go to 100%, you find yourself liquidating. You find the risk of a liquidation event happening. In the event that the liquidation happens, you will lose a partial to half. In some extreme circumstance, you may lose all of your supply balance. As a result, for those people who are doing this for the first time, you want to do 20% of this figure. But for me, I'm fine with it. I've tried borrowing in my first video. I've tried repaying it in my second video. But in this Valve minting, there's no stability fee, there's no cost of minting, there's no cost of borrowing fees. So it is extremely incentivized for people in the Venus to do this and to yield farm for XVS token at 33.22%. And that's an awesome rate. So now I'm going to do it, and let me get myself prepared. 156. Confirm. I'm going to mint the Valve stablecoin in 1 minute's time. Transaction is confirmed within the BSC network, and you see this updated over here. I've now minted 1,576 tokens, Valve tokens, and this is now reflecting in my wallet here, which I am going to receive 33.23%. Next, move over to the vault. First, enable. I need to stake this Valve to enjoy the 33.22% annualized. Otherwise, it will not give me any XVS tokens over here. So I'm going to confirm. Transaction is confirmed. I can now stake. I can withdraw. This is a withdraw panel. This is the staking panel. I have 1,576 to stake. Let's click max. I'm going to stake all. It is some of the matrix that nice to know. Total Valve stake, there's 22 millions locked in this platform right now, and the Valve staking annualized percentage yearly return is 33.23%. Let's stake. Let's wait for the transactions to be confirmed by the BSC network. Once confirmed, you see that this has been updated, and in the next few minutes you are going to watch that these figures will be updated with some XVS tokens to be farmed. And this pretty much sums up what I want to share with you and what I want to document for new people who are new to Venus. I've shared yield farming on Venus. On my first video, I've shared how does the borrowing fees in Venus works in case you want to borrow and use the borrowing cryptos market to yield farm for your XVS tokens. And in the third video, I've talked about the last approach using the Vault, where you mint Valve stablecoin and then you stake it in the Venus Vault to receive XVS. Now the Valve staking APY is 33.23%, and then the supplying of the cryptos, depending on what kind of crypto assets you supply, you will see the total APYs over here. And to see the XVS tokens, you go to the Vault, and here are the amount of XVS that are earned by supplying to the Venus protocol. And for the Valve stablecoin, you are going to see the available Valve rewards in XVS to be reflected over here through time. If you want to withdraw the Valve stablecoin, you should go over here and click whichever amount that you want to withdraw and click the button to withdraw it here. I've also discussed some of the key metrics and consideration of which would be a better choice for you to go for yield farming for using the borrowing markets mechanism, or to mint Valve stablecoin. Whichever approach that works best for you, you want to know what is your primary objective of having yourself in the Venus protocol, how you want Venus protocol to help you. If you want an optimized way to yield farm for XVS token, then this is the approach. My approach would be the one that I suggest you to go for. But if you have much more complicated yield farming strategies that you know that using the borrowing mechanism of the Venus can give you a much higher return than minting Valve stablecoin, by all means please do whatever is best for you. But at least you are with this video, you are clear on how to take advantage of the Venus protocol. Thanks so much for your attention. Be sure to subscribe to the Token Clan channel and like this video, activate the notification bell. If you like this kind of content, be sure to comment and tell us about your thoughts on the Venus protocol for my weekly giveaway. And if you want to participate, be sure to find the links below. I'm Warren. I'll see you in the next one. And before we go, the numbers are updated with the new XVS token.